Hi there, it's Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and this is not your typical summer routine with kids video. Now, I am going to talk about how to have a good summer with your kids at home, but not in a typical fashion. And what I mean by that is, have you ever watched those summer routine videos? Or you've printed out this lovely printable and you've made your summer bucket list and you made a little routine and schedule for your kids and you're like, this is what we're gonna do. And then you envision it going something like this.
We don't care if we take our plants over. No, stop, Timothy. Finish.
Great job! Kids, it's time for our chores.
Yay, we're gonna clean everybody.
All right, read aloud time. Chapter 5, The Radish Cure. Up to the time of this story, Patsy was just an everyday little girl. Sometimes she was good and sometimes she was naughty, but usually she did just what her mother told her without too much fuss. But one morning, Patsy's mother, trust me, I've done the same thing, but it doesn't always turn out that way, does it? Sometimes, instead of it being this lovely day where you wake up and you do your routines and everyone does their chores and you all do a read aloud together and everyone plays outside happily, sometimes it goes a little more like this. Kids, it's time to play outside now.
It's too hot. It's too cold. This is too hard. This is too easy. Done. He gets a fire rental. It's all
Kids, it's time for our chores.
Okay, Mommy.
Okay, it's read aloud time. Chapter 5, The Radish Cure. Up to the time of this story, Patsy was just an everyday little girl. Sometimes she was good and sometimes she was naughty. Now, I just want to point out that was my kids acting. That wasn't like me videoing actual footage of them misbehaving. However, I will say it does look a bit like that sometimes. So I want to talk to you if you're like, that's more how it goes for me. And I want to just some real talk here because I feel like it's not helpful for me to pretend like I have this lovely routine and we just follow it every day and it all goes wonderful, because that's not the case, and I'm guessing that's not the case for you. And I will tell you, sometimes I even get discouraged trying to make a plan or watching other people's plans and being like, what on earth is wrong with me? So some days go more like the first scenario where everything actually goes pretty good and the routine goes well, we all have fun, life is good, and I'm like, I am rocking this summer mom with the kids at home thing. But then some days, feels like everything is like that second scenario where the kids are like, I don't want to, he has a better pencil than me. I don't know, everything goes wrong. Everything is a struggle, and by the time my husband gets off work, I'm like, gotta go, bye, and I run to the nearest cookie bakery and eat a cookie in the car while tears are streaming down my face because I feel like the worst mother in the entire planet. Just keeping it real. And I don't know, if you ever feel like that, you're not alone. And then most days are actually somewhere in between. There's some good, we have some not so good. And I think that's just the reality, because the truth is, it is incredibly difficult to get other humans on board with a good attitude with your plans all the time. As a matter of fact, I even struggle to stay on board with my own intentions and plans half the time. So it would be a little unrealistic to think that they're always just going to be happy and thrilled to go with the plans. And I will also side note here and say, you do you. I mean, I know everyone says that all the time, but I mean it. Like, whatever flow works well for your family, I will tell you, I have tried the more freeform days. Like, summer days are for frolicking about outside and not having a schedule. And oh my goodness, that is a recipe for epic disaster. My kids, at their current ages of 6 and 8, they need some serious structure. Like, they need some kind of guidelines and structure and something decided for them so they just don't have this like wide open, endless possibilities. Now, if the endless possibilities things works for you, and I think it does for certain kids and certain styles, I think that's fantastic. But the whole purpose of this plan is to keep our sanity and to really try to make the most of the summer. I know everybody says this like all the time, but I'm going to be another one who says it goes by so fast, but it goes by so fast. I mean, all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, like I'm going to start crying because my son starts kindergarten next year and this is our last summer before they're both in school and all that. And we only have 8 weeks of summer here in Indiana, and I think a lot of at least our country is like that, and so there's not a lot of time, and I want to make the most of it, and I don't want it to all be a bunch of arguments and feeling like a failure. I want us to have like bonding, happy moments. Now, it'd be totally unrealistic to have those all the time, but this is what I found works for us the best. So if some of this works for you, please take it and use it, and if it doesn't, I hope you can at least take the encouragement and the idea that like, it's okay if everything doesn't go according to plan and you're not broken if your summer doesn't look quite like you envisioned or like someone else's. So I'm going to dive in to our actual, I'm going to call it a plan or a routine, but that's very loose, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So I'm going to share a screenshot of what I wrote down. So before the summer began, I wrote down what I would consider an ideal day. I put times on it and like and I wasn't thinking, this is what I want to do every day. I was thinking, this is a good picture of how one ideal day could go. And if every day were like this, I would be perfectly happy. We would get accomplished what I want to. And we'd have a good balance of making sure they have time, sitting down and learning and at their outside and all of that. So that's what I did. Now, very, very important here. I did not share this with my kids. I know my kids, my almost 8-year-old can read very well. She can tell time very well. And she would be all like, oh, it's 10:02, we need to be doing this now. Like, she would take this as gospel, and it's not meant to be that, so I don't share it with them. All right? That's the first thing. This was for me. Then, when I make the plan for the day, it is not with times on it. Even if I have times in my head, my kids never ever see those times. And it is only for that day, and I'm super big on that. I have multiple videos. I can link some of them below, talking about my general strategy for planning days, whether it involves children or not. And I'm super big on just plan for today because you don't know the future. And so that's what I do, even with kids. And either the night before or the morning of, I'll generally write it down, not always, but usually. And my kids love this. Like, they love it when I write down for them. Usually I do it with them of like, this is what we're doing first, second, third, and it's just like a little list. That gives them some structure, some idea of where the day is going, and they seem to really want this, so we go with that. And it kind of works. Like, they'll go back to the list and be like, this is what we're doing next, so it really helps. So what I like to do first, ideally, is get myself up and ready and dressed and showered and all of that. That happens honestly about half the time. My kids wake up at different times, so I don't really know when that's going to be, and I have different things going on. Like, sometimes I get in bed, I sleep great, and I'm up at 6:30 and all ready before they get up around 7:30. Other days it doesn't work like that, and I don't stress about it, but for the most part, I'm usually up and ready. And then they get up, and one of the things that I've done this summer is we have a morning routine, and this one is not flexible, meaning this is happening every single day, no matter what. The first parts of it are eat breakfast and get dressed. They were already doing that anyway. That's not really any kind, like, I really don't have to prompt them at all to do that. I am working on swapping out the breakfast for healthier foods, which is going fine, really. But other than that, like, they know what to do. And so that's not really difficult. But the next things, okay, they're going to sound really easy, but I don't know if your kids are like this, but my kids, sometimes they act like brushing their teeth is torture. I don't know. Maybe it's just my kids. And I'm like, I don't understand what is so terrible about brushing your teeth, but they really don't want to do it sometimes. So the next 3 parts of the morning routine are brush teeth, make bed, clean room. They know this. We're a couple weeks into the summer. They totally know this already. So no matter what, this is what you're doing before anything else happens. You are brushing your teeth, making your bed, and cleaning your room. Now, I want to point out that cleaning their room is usually incredibly simple because they've usually cleaned it the night before. A lot of times they don't even get their own rooms a mess. Like there's plenty of other places in our house to play. So this usually involves picking up a couple stuffed animals from the floor and their clothes that they've taken off and placing them into the dirty clothes hamper because they rarely ever like place them straight there. Don't ask me why. So that's what they do. So it's very simple. But they know these are the 3 things. And I don't have like a sign. I don't have like a routine card. I don't have a checklist. I just say teeth, bed, room. And they know what that means. And the way that we deal with it is nothing, like you're not going to move on to anything else until this is done. So if you want to express your displeasure with it, if you want to hem and haw and take a long time, that's fine. But you're not going to move on to the next thing. And we can do that in the summer. And that's going pretty well. I've seen a lot of improvement in, at first there was resistance and already just like, 10 or 12 days in, way less resistance because they know it's happening. Like they are not going to do anything else until their teeth are brushed, their bed is made, and their room is clean. So I've seen a lot of improvement and I'm hoping that carries through to the school year so that it's much harder to do on mornings where you have to be somewhere. So that's our morning. And then the next thing we do is outside time. And we've done this every single day. That's kind of a non-negotiable. I just think, fresh air, that morning air, especially when it can be hot in the afternoons. So maybe we won't go out or it can be like raining. We'll at least go out in the morning. We do have a covered front porch. So even when it's been raining, we're still able to go outside and sit on the porch. We have a little swing. Sometimes we just sit there for 15 minutes. Other times they actually just start playing with their bikes or scooters or whatever. They'll start digging in the ground, just like they love to dig up dirts and weeds. So if that starts happening, that's totally fine. We'll stay out longer, so it's a variable amount of time. And this is what's really important to me about the schedule, is that I use my judgment of how long these things should take and when we should move on to the next thing, which is why I don't tell them many times. So, for example, if we're outside and I can tell they're just over it, then we'll move on quickly. But if they're doing great and they're playing and they're having fun, this is where the flexibility of summer comes in. I'll leave them out there. We'll stay out there a lot longer and kind of adjust the rest of our routine accordingly. But when I say our next activity is going outside, that's not negotiable. That's happening. We're going outside. I may cut it pretty short, but it's happening because I don't want them to constantly think that they can just decide something else. So that's kind of how that works. And by the way, I guess they've never really argued about going outside. I guess they like going outside. And I just think it's such a good way for all of us to start our day. Then usually our next activity is school. And okay, this is where you may think we're strange. And you know what? We probably are strange. But we do legit homeschool school during the summer, even though they go to public school. Let's just keep our sanity, and because it's something that me and both of them love. And one of the things that, if you're a mom, is that you can tell when your kids actually like something and when they're just carrying on when they say they don't like it. So every now and again, they'll be like, I don't like school. I don't want to do school. It's summer break. But I know that they really want to do it. They love it. Often they're asking for more. Can we do another lesson, please? You can see them light up and enjoy it. So because of that, I persevere and we're doing it. But yet again, if for some reason, and this is actually pretty rare, but if for some reason it doesn't feel like it's going well and it's still difficult after a few minutes, I will really cut it short. I'll be like, we're not doing math today. I will really cut it short so that I don't want it to be having to really stress. Like, I want it to feel easy and natural, but I think there has to be a lot of those transition points, and I have to give them the opportunity. Like, we have to sit down, know we're doing this, and we have to get through the first 2 or 3 minutes, and a good percentage of the time, it starts to go well after that, but not 100%. For school, we start with, trying to find it, Bible. This is what I'm using. Love these. It has a level for each child. Super short, easy to usually takes 10 minutes. Then we do language. I'm doing kindergarten prep for my son, and he's about ready to move into kindergarten. Second grade for my daughter. I use the Good and Beautiful curriculum. I cannot say enough good about it. We actually have gotten through, even though they go to public school, we got through like the entire kindergarten with my daughter, most of first grade, just because it was fun. We do it on Saturdays a lot of times as well. And then we'll do language, and then we'll do math. And usually it takes roughly an hour if we do the full thing. And most of the time, since they're still so young and they need me to kind of be really actively involved, what'll happen is like I have handwriting, like tracing worksheets for them, or coloring, or these little shape things where they make these images with shapes. It's kind of hard to describe, but I have the little activities. So one of them will kind of be doing that while I'm working with the other one, and then vice versa. After that, if you look at the schedule, I have outside. Usually it doesn't go in that order, but I like to make time to go outside again and play out there again. I just feel like it's just so good to have more time outdoors. So when that happens, I fit in another outdoor session where they're really playing outside and not just like chilling. You'll also see on the schedule that I have Bible lesson then, but we ended up incorporating that into our school time. It just made the most sense for us. And then we have lunch, and lunch I keep it really simple. Like, you know, we're doing basic simple things. I'm not like doing a lot of cooking and things like that. And I make sure that we do sit down and eat lunch, because I do not want all day snacking. I don't want them to be asking for snacks all day. Now, I will tell you they do ask for snacks all day, but the answer is no. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, so we're not getting snacks all day. And they know that, so they know they need to eat a proper amount at lunch, and 90% of the time they do. Every once in a while they decide not to. You know, kids. After lunch, we do chores, and we've done this probably 80% of the time. I keep it really simple. If the dishwasher is not unloaded, we do that. We kind of do that, all three of us usually together. And then maybe one other thing, like folding a few wash rags, straightening something up, like especially if we got stuff out in the living room or something during the day, like go put the pillows back on the couch. That just kind of a little mini reset, but it's not a lot, because I don't know, I just don't want to do a lot of chores, and I just want to keep it really simple. And then we do a read aloud, and we've done this very consistently. I will say they don't always love the read aloud at first, but I just say, hey, I'm sitting down, I'm reading this aloud. You do what you want to do. And like 95% of the time, they'll sit down and start listening. Every once in a while, they won't. They'll go off to their room. That's fine. But usually it's when we transition to a new book, but once they're into the book, they're excited about it. So we've done this a lot. Sometimes we'll even go outside and do it. If it's nice weather, we'll just sit on the porch, on the swing, and they can listen out there as well. Now, if you're following along with like my little ideal schedule, you'll see that I have a quiet time in rooms up next. This hasn't really happened. I wish it had, but it hasn't. I'm just being real with you. Usually by now, we're a little bit later. We don't have as much time. We've had some play dates and some like things going on in the afternoons as well, so we weren't even here. But really, I've been putting it off because I don't know how it's going to go. We used to do it before my daughter started kindergarten, and then once she did, it just didn't make sense, and so we stopped instituting like the hour of quiet time in their rooms, and they liked it, actually. I mean, I really think sometimes you just need a break. Like, they need a break from each other, and they have lots of fun things to do in their rooms, and once they get started, they usually are having a blast in there. Like, they'll be talking to their animals. They'll be, you know, they have lots of different things to play with in their room. My son has a bunch of cars, and you'll see him, like, he has this, like, rug, and he'll line all of his cars up. He'll play with his lightsabers. They each have an Alexa in their room so they can play music, and they love to do that, just like play music and dance, or even if they just need the time, like they don't nap, they just need to lay down and listen. So they'll do that, and they have a great time. And I kind of need this because I need to get some work done. I will tell you, I had hoped when the summer began that with them being a little bit older, that I would be able to get some work done with them around, and that has happened exactly 0. Yeah, 0. So I failed. I just, even at I don't know if there is an age, but this is not it. Because, first of all, a lot of my work is filming. Well, it's very hard to do. You're constantly interrupted. And then, even if I'm just answering emails, I find myself, if I'm trying to do this and I'm like answering emails and getting sucked into thinking about work and they interrupt me, I get very frustrated and annoyed because I'm like, I'm trying to deal with this work issue and they need this. And so it just doesn't work out. And I was hoping like maybe they would go play outside while I was doing it, or we do this quiet time thing, and it hasn't happened. I still plan to try quiet time next week and just see how it goes. So I can let you know on that. And then I like to try to have a time for like games or crafts. I mean, they love like painting. We have watercolor paints, acrylic paints. We have aqua beads, about like another bead set. There's also like a good time to do like building things like magnet tiles, which they love. We have like blocks, puzzles, those types of things. But again, what's ended up happening is we're usually so far, I don't know what the word is, like behind, even though not really. So we don't often get to this. And a lot of times this is something we'll also do in the evening. But I kind of end the schedule there. We go into the evening where we're getting ready for dinner and we have a much looser schedule. And we have more things like going on. We might be going somewhere like out to eat, to the store, to someone's house, to church, to whatever activity. And so that's kind of how the evenings go. So I hope this has helped you, given you some ideas, made you feel like you're not alone, helped you to realize that if you write a schedule and everyone follows it and it goes great, that's amazing. You should probably come talk to me. Better yet, come to my house and show me how it's done. But if not, you're not alone. That's okay. And you can still have a good and productive summer where you're really cultivating those relationships and trying to have as good a time as you can.